40 years from now, will we still be standing up? Or will change have happened?
Everybody must be engaged.
Become a force for multiplying.
Let's get greedy for ending poverty.
There are millions and millions of people who are standing up to say, end poverty, end hunger, end social inequality now. But who are behind those people? Are they volunteers? Are they social activists? What's the difference? Is there a difference? This year is the 30th anniversary of the Right Livelihood Award and the conference is being hosted by the city of Bonn. The Right Livelihood Awards were established in 1980, and they were established to really give recognition to individuals who, in very practical, very inspirational, and very impactful ways, bring about change. And I would like to talk about two of the laureates who have honored us with their presence today. I would first like to introduce Francesco Chico Whitaker. Chico is a lifelong social activist. In 2006, Chico received the Right Livelihood Award for a lifetime's dedicated work for social justice that has strengthened democracy in Brazil and helped give birth to the World Social Forum, showing that another world is possible. The next laureate award winner is actually an organization, Plenty International. And Plenty International is represented by their executive director, Peter Schweitzer, who's with us today. Plenty International received the Right Livelihood Award in 1980 for caring, sharing, and acting with and on behalf of those in need at home and abroad. And the third person to be maybe grilled in our hard talk round table discussion is Flavia Pansieri, who many of you know is UN Volunteers Executive Coordinator. I would now like to share some of Flavia's words, which I took from our latest annual report, where she said, "From the volunteers who are changing the lives of youth and building peace, to the thousands of people who volunteer for our planet, anyone and everyone can make a difference." Flavia, if you would join us, please. Flavia, volunteers are known to be doing great things and to be contributing to peace and development. But there are critics. And those critics might say that volunteers really skate the surface. They don't get underneath the root causes, to deal with the root causes of social inequality. As you know, 2011 is the International Year of Volunteers plus 10. And those same critics might be arguing, if they really aren't contributing to change, if they're really just putting Band-Aids over some of our ills, then why should United Nations volunteers, why should the UN invest in volunteers?
I would really take issue with statements that consider volunteerism as just do-goodism. In fact, if I look at the volunteers that we field every year all over the world, contributing to peacekeeping missions, to humanitarian response activities, to development programs, what they do is actually make a difference.
Would the UN be better off? Would the development community be better off if some of the resources that are put towards United Nations volunteers were instead put towards community-based groups, community-based organizations?
This is a matter of working together. It's not a matter of looking at a dichotomy between a volunteer who comes in from the outside or a volunteer who is from the very same community. The contribution that a volunteer can bring is really to become a force for multiplying, engaging, and inspiring those who already are there to do more and to do it together. So my contention would be that if anything, we need more resources. And I do hope that as we celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Year of Volunteers, we will be able to convince our partner in governments, in bilateral institutions, that there cannot be real long-standing development if there is no popular ownership of this development. And engaging voluntarily is perhaps the most obvious expression of this ownership.
If I can pick up on the word engagement and turn to you, Chico, you're one of the founders of the World Social Forum. And the World Social Forum, as I understand it, brings together thousands and thousands of people from around the world to engage in discussion which will lead to social change. But how do you ensure talk leads to action?
That depends on people that come to these meetings. Social Forum is not a movement. It's not an organization. It's a space to be together. Who? All those who are already motivated to do something to change the world, to change overcome the inequality, the injustice, the wars, everything. They are trying to do this in a new way of doing politics. They are doing politics, but in a new way. That's to say,
what's this new way?
With horizontality. Everybody has the same possibility to see, to say, to see, to hear, to interchange, to learn with others, to find, identify convergence, and to build new actions together. Everybody must be engaged. Ecological questions is beginning to awake people from the developed countries, because everybody will pay for the destruction of the planet.
Peter, if I could ask you, when you were in Guatemala, were there ever times where you or some of the other volunteers felt like we're never going to really make a difference? Did you get disheartened, disillusioned by the length of the process that Mr. Whitaker talked about?
Sure. Not disheartened, because we have never been able to do a project where we didn't have partners in the local community, okay? So they sustained us. The hardest thing we ever had to do was leave Guatemala in 1980 when the government started killing the Mayans. This was a growth journey for us and our volunteers. It changes you, and it helps you deal with cynicism, and it helps you understand the issues better, and it makes you a better person. Guatemala was our graduate school in development, which taught us, hey, the indigenous people in the world are on the bottom. How come?
Flavia, when you are at that point, when you're retired, and maybe writing memories and memoirs of your time with UNV, and you get to the so what chapter, what would be the key points you will include?
I hope, if there's still juice in the batteries, that I'll have more time to engage voluntarily. The fact is that engaging voluntarily is really perhaps the single most enriching activity that I can think, not in money terms, but in terms of the person you are, the values that you live through. And then I do agree with you, Chico, then if we get together with this belief, with the persistent, the stubbornness even, I would say, not ever to give up, then we make a difference. Then things change, things can improve. And so I really would like to see not just a change happening, it's happening already. You're making a difference, you're making a difference. Our volunteers all over the world are making a difference. That's already happening. But yes, I would like to see a real serious acceleration of how this difference translates in greater opportunities for all, in greater increasing equality for everyone.
So thinking back, what was the maybe one or two moments that you could share with us, Chico, that really were your inspiration, that really helped you push forward? I mean, you were sent on exile with your family. That's very, very difficult. What kept you going? What was a moment or two that really told you, I can believe and I can move forward?
if you have a injustice situation and you do nothing, you accept this injustice situation. You are doing politics. You are at the side of those who want that system continues. So this is a process. Sometimes you have the pa in the head. Huh? For me and for my wife, it was a Chilean putsch. My God, we were there. Then when you receive a coup like this, you cannot more stop. It's impossible to stop. You change your life. You cannot more sleep as if nothing was happening. Impossible. And you go till the end of the life. Till the end. You go and you die struggling. Not only because you have a duty to do, but because you are convinced that to be human, to be a human being, you must be with others, in love with others, all the other human beings, and you must leave their situation, their tragedies, and help, mutual help to overcome. You are condemned to be human being.
Thank you. So along the way, what does Plenty International do to really keep the momentum going, keep the spirit, keep the steady, fast route, to encourage the volunteers that work with you and to recognize and give recognition to what they're doing, to reward them?
Well, you can never be too generous with appreciation. There is that spirit, that's alive in people everywhere. We're all the same. I mean, every community, every village, every place we've ever worked, you're seeing yourself. Oh, that's my family. It looks like so-and-so. You know, we are, as we hippies used to say, all one. And we really are. And so that recognition of our oneness and our human familyness that's appreciation. When you feel that, you're not looking for anything more than that. And I was thinking about greed. Greed, one of the 7 deadly sins, right? And we're always impacted. We're talking about the greed of the corporation. Let's get greedy for ending poverty. Let's get greedy for peace. Let's get greedy. War should be taboo. Let's ban it. Forget it. It should not be. We're wasting all the money that we need to bring clean water to every family, food. There should be nobody on this planet who doesn't have the basics. That should be illegal. Can't we agree on that? So, let's get greedy about that. Okay, let's be greedy. There's nothing wrong with that greed, right? Okay. What was the question?
You answered it very well, even if you don't remember the question. But maybe the reward and the recognition that individuals feel is that they push that greed, they push that miracle, and they push that hope and inspiration. Well, dear audience and dear fellow panelists, I'm sad to say, quite honestly and heartfelt, very sad to say that we've run out of time. I feel that your words, Peter, Chico, and Flavia, have definitely been an inspiration to us. But even more than your words, your actions, what you have accomplished and will continue to accomplish, are indeed inspiring others to action. And I thank you for participating with us today. Thank you.